Hold them accountable.
To what?
To the goals of the week, I guess.
Okay. So here's how to best use your accountability partners. Okay. So if I am Becky's accountability partner, we have agreed that we're going to touch base every day at, say, 9 o'clock. Okay. And one of the things we're going to do at 9 o'clock is we're going to do a quick script and role play. And you can take your hands down off of the little icons. Okay. We're going to do a script and role play, right? Because remember, practice is a big piece of what we do. Okay. So Becky and I are going to run through the scripts with each other back and forth, give each other a chance to do the script and one must be the replier. Okay. And then we're just going to have a quick conversation. How'd it go yesterday? I nailed it. I got 12 conversations in. I had a goal of 10 and I was feeling so good. I kept going. Or it might be, I really struggled. And then we help each other, right? And so I will tell you, this will make the biggest difference to you guys' success is that accountability partner who's going to help you keep going, right? So make sure you know who you are. If you have an accountability partner who starts standing you up, and not because they're sick, but just because they stop showing up for your agreed upon calls, talk to me, talk to Jody, talk to Tracy, whoever your productivity coach is, and we will find you somebody else. Okay. Sound like a plan?
And
all
how
right.
long should we do it?
15, 20 minutes.
Every day.
Every day, Monday through Friday. Every day, Monday through Friday, quick 15, 20 minute call. And it's literally like this. Ring, ring, hello. Whoever was the one that dialed that morning goes straight into their script. Hi, Becky, this is Margaret. How are you doing? She's going to reply. And then I'm going to use whichever Ford thing she gave to me. Okay, we're going to practice that together today also. Okay. And then when we're done with that, then she's going to do the fake ring ring and I'll go, hello. And she'll go, hi, Margaret, it's Becky. How are you doing? Right. So you just, whoever picks up the phone, whoever was the right person calling, just go as if that was a live person. Then once you've both done the role play, then you stop and you say, okay, how'd you do yesterday? Right? And it might be, well, I got to go preview 4 houses and I got 8 calls in and, you know, I didn't get any handwriting in because of whatever reason. Right. But it goes, right. It will really make you guys all better. I promise. I will tell you this, my very first accountability partner from Bold, we are still very, very, very good friends. Okay. All right.
And the script used yesterday, can you email that to us?
You guys all actually have access to it. And when we get to script and role play today, I'll show you exactly where it is. Okay. Okay. Ooh, for those of you in Avenues. So today I'm obviously up here in the North office because I'm your instructor. You guys are also lucky you get me today. But I don't teach every day. And everybody can celebrate and clap your hands and whatever, because you don't have to put up with my crazy every day. That doesn't mean this room's not available to you. Okay. So there is an instruction sheet on how to fire up the stuff here in the room so that you have the big screen TV. There's instructions in a laminate that are right here on this podium that I use. And it's pretty easy because if I can do it, anybody can do it. Okay. I heard we had a little bit of a hiccup last week, but Alfred saved the day and got us up and running. And so I'm willing to bet he knows how to do it now. Okay, I do, he says. All right, super. So today, see if I can get the share screen to work and go where I want it to, kind of. All right, so today we are going to talk about defining, there we go. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so today we are going to talk about defining our values. By the way, I forgot to do this part. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Margaret Gade. I am the productivity coach at Keller Williams Avenues in Old Town, Arvada. I have been in real estate since 2014. I've been a productivity coach. This is my 6th year of coaching. And I just love what I do on both sides of the business. So that's who you get to spend the day with. So In session 1, we talked a lot about real estate agent of choice, and we want to develop a plan. And a part of our plan is to design what we call the value proposition. Now, starting tomorrow, boy, you guys don't want to miss the next 5 sessions, right? We're going to start talking about lead generation, right? If we don't have leads, do we have a business? No leads, no business, right? So we're going to start talking about how to generate and meet new people. One of the coaches I work with, his name is Jeff Glover. And one of the things he says all the time when he started the business was that his coach said to him, Jeff, there's 2 kinds of people in the world, the people you know and the people you don't know. And the people you don't know, can you close that door for me? The people you don't know is a bigger group. So he went out and started going out and meeting people he didn't know. Okay. We're going to talk about growing your database, how to work an open house. Okay. How to use social media, how to work with that. Then the following 4 sessions are going to be about following up, right? If you meet them at an open house, you better do something with the lead. Okay. Because they're going to go buy from somebody else. And then the last, 7 sessions is going to be all about the transaction, how to work with sellers, how to work with buyers, listing consultations, all of that. So we are through. This is about the bigger picture stuff. And now we're going to start getting into the meat tomorrow. Okay. We're just thinking about the invitation to get to the dining room table. Okay. So today we're going to talk about what's a value proposition and why do you want one? We're also going to help you begin to define your value proposition. And what that does is we're going to do that by uncovering what makes you unique. Every single one of you, regardless of how long you've been in this business, has a different life set of experiences. Okay. I tell people all the time, I was a lender for 20 years. I was on the dark side. Then I went into telecom and went into global sales operations before I found myself here. All of those skills that I developed over that 34 years before I came to real estate absolutely influence who I am today, because I can talk to a lender and I can speak their speak and I can translate their speak. And then the sales negotiations I learned by running an operations department globally, huge, right? Every single one of you has a skill set that's aligned like that, right? Some of you come from commercial real estate marketing. Some of you come from the world of education, right? All of those skill sets that you had from those past lives make you a different realtor than somebody else. Okay. So, let's see, I did part of this already because I never follow the agenda the way I'm supposed to. By the end of today, you will define the meaning of a value proposition. You'll explain the benefits of having one. It's basically your elevator speech. And then you're going to be able to describe what buyers and sellers value most in the real estate experience. So I'm not doing this exercise. Okay. So come on, computer. Okay. So what is a value proposition? Okay. Knowing what skills and strengths you bring to the table will give you confidence in running and growing your own business. Therefore, it's important to know how to express your value when interacting with your clients and potential clients. So let's talk about what your value proposition is. It's a unique, memorable, and persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you. It addresses the specific and special needs of the buyer and sellers in our market. It states what you will do for your client to earn your commission. And it holds you accountable to high standards. So a lot of what the beginning is of that in our value proposition is what we talked about the first day was the Y4C2Ts, right? And remember, one of those was commitment in all things. By the way, do you guys remember that first day I told you there was a dance to the Y4C2Ts? Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Hey, those of you that went to Vail, what did you learn? The dance. By the way, I videoed it so I could remember it. Okay. So what are other examples, right? So a lot of these, right? Commitment in all things, right? That would be an absolute component of your value proposition. So when we think back about the Y4C2Ts, what are some other elements of that that you might incorporate into your value proposition? What do you think? What's the first one? If we do the Y4C2Ts, what's the first one?
Win-win or no deal?
Win-win or no deal. Would that fit into your value proposition?
I think it should be the foundation.
Right? Absolutely, right? So letting people know that, right? You're not in this just to make a commission check. As a matter of fact, last night I had to help an agent terminate $1 million transaction. If he was in it for the commission check, how do you think that would have felt? Trust me, it still hurts, right? But it was what the client wanted and it was the best interest for the client. And so you do what you got to do. Okay. What's another one? It's one of the C's. How about our customers? Do you remember that one? Customers always come what?
First.
First, right? So your prioritization of your client's needs, is that a part of what your value proposition could be?
Yep.
And then my last one, and I'm just going to give you this one because I kind of like it. Equity, opportunities for all, right? And in this one, maybe you're an advocate for those populations that are underserved. Okay. So let's take a look at this quote from the MREA regarding the value proposition. Okay. So Diana, will you read this to us?
An agent can easily explain what services they will provide to anyone who hires them. Gary Keller, okay. The millionaire real estate agent.
That's probably a pretty good quote if it's coming from him, right? So why is it important to define your value proposition?
You have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you need to convince people that you are the one that's going to get it done for them.
Mm-hmm. Right? My values need to align with my client's values, right? And they need to know that my interest is their interest. And you guys all know I'm pretty transparent. And I remember my very, very, very first transaction, very first, was a $500,000 transaction. And back in 2015, that was a big sale. Okay. And I was working with these people. I met them at an open house. They weren't part of my sphere. They didn't know me. The good thing is they didn't know I'd never done a real estate transaction before either. Okay. And we ran into a situation where we had a sewer guy who was Chicken Little. The sky was falling. The whole thing was going to have to be replaced. It was going to cost them $20,000 or $30,000. And they wanted to terminate the contract. They didn't even want to have any conversation. And I remember talking to them about the risks, because we were in, at that time, what we thought was a pretty competitive market. And there was they had a very tight timeline to accomplish what they needed to. And I will never forget, because I had that conversation with them late in an evening. And the next morning I get a voicemail from the client. And one of the things he said in the voicemail was, I'm not convinced you're looking out for my best interests.
Mm.
Now, the reality was I was doing exactly that, but the way I was expressing it to him, he didn't see that. Right? Talk about a big lesson. By the way, he's one of my biggest advocates today. We closed a better house for them. It all worked out perfectly, but it was a great learning for me, right? To remember that I constantly have to be reassuring them I'm in their corner. But my job as the fiduciary is to talk about risks and rewards. Okay? So the benefits of a value proposition are they help your clients understand it, right? Not everyone knows why they should hire an agent for their real estate needs. Have any of you ever called a for sale by owner? They don't think they need you at all. They're smarter than you. They know Zillow told them how to price their house. Okay. They don't need you until they do, right? Helping them understand your value, right? When your client understands your value, it protects your commission. Right? You stand out from the competition. right? In this market, people are going to be hiring, they're going to be interviewing more agents for the job. They're going to want more skills. They're going to want more people that are stronger, right? In the old market, anybody can sell a house, just put a sign in the front yard, stick it in the MLS, and you get 20 offers. Kind of felt that way some days, right? But the skills that we all get and the skills that you guys are working to develop by being here every day, right? This is what's going to help your value proposition, and you're going to win when you're competing against those other agents that don't do that, right? And your value proposition will help you build strong and trusting relationships, right? It's your promise to the client. It's you're keeping your word when you're working with them, and you earn their trust. And when they trust you, they hire you again. Okay. All right. What do we got? So here's some examples of some value propositions. So I'm just going to start calling on people. So Mark, will you
Yes.
read for us the value proposition for Airbnb?
Airbnb exists to create a world where anyone can belong anywhere, providing healthy travel that is local, authentic, diverse, inclusive, and sustainable.
Wow. How many of you want to go to an Airbnb right now? All right. All right. My favorite person, Walmart. Okay. Ari, will you read that one for us?
Yes. Everyday low prices for a broad range of goods that are always in stock in convenient geographic locations.
Wow. Low prices, always in stock, convenient locations. Now, whether you believe that or not is neither here nor there. But if you read that about Walmart and knew nothing about them, would you think that's a great place to shop? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Jay, did I see my buddy Jay here? Oh, I guess not. I must have been seeing things. Becky, will you read Slack for us?
Well, Slack makes it downright pleasant to work together.
Downright pleasant. Boy, does that sound like our daddies or our grandpas are saying that, right? Like, I'm downright pleasant, right? Love that. I don't like Slack, but I love that value prop that they give. And look at, it's one sentence. It is so simple, right? All right, let's see who's next. Taylor Trom. Can you read Grammarly?
Great writing, simplified, compose bold, clear, mistake-free writing with Grammarly's AI-powered writing assistant.
I'm going to call them and ask them to write my next listing blurbs. If they're that good, where it's simple and it's concise and it's mistake-free, wow. Right? I don't know about you guys, but I struggle sometimes writing. Right? When you get to your first listing, right? The first thing, the hardest part is, I'm going to tell you, writing the comments, right? Telling the story to make somebody want to come see the house. I struggle with that. Okay. In the room, Jackie, QuickBooks.
Send invoices in minutes and get paid 2 days faster. Wow.
Yeah. Who wants to sign up for QuickBooks right now? Right? You get paid 2 days faster. It's almost as good as getting paid at the closing table. And my favorite one of all, Sandy, are you with us?
Yes.
Will you do State Farm?
Sure. Here to help life go right.
Look at those, right? So when you look at those in general, what makes them successful? Why are these good value props?
They're very concise.
They're concise, they're direct, yeah.
They
Who are
express,
they? Go ahead.
they point out how they fill a need, right?
Uh-huh. Right,
So,
they're filling a need for who?
for the customer, for the client.
Right, they're client-centered. Right, they're client-centered. They're focused on the client. They're not about, I am the greatest real estate agent in the world because I sold 524 houses last year, and you should have, like, that's not what it's about. None of them said the word I. Great observation. They solve challenges, right? They explain directly or indirectly why they're better than the competition. Airbnb is telling me why they are better than the Marriott, right? Although I do like the Marriott, okay? Right? So now we want to go into your participant guide. Now, do you guys all know, and can you find the participant guide?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the PDF?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the big link that's like 300 and some pages long.
Okay, page 17.
I don't know what page you're on.
Oh, never mind. That's the PowerPoint. Okay.
But there's a participant guide you should be using every week, every session as we go through. If you're a printer, go ahead and print all 300 pages. I'm not. Well, I am, but I'm not. So, but I did not print that one. So when we look at that in Ignite, we've discussed your value that's enhanced by being part of Keller Williams, right? What it means to serve as a fiduciary. We've talked about that your clients' needs always come first. And the importance of being a market expert. So if we connect those dots, even for you that may have never even sold a transaction, there are people on this phone that have had their license less than a month. Okay. You still have value because you're connected to our offices and our organizations, right? So how does part of being Keller Williams bolster your personal value proposition? So let's think about that. Being an agent with Keller Williams means you have access to command, which allows you to streamline the entire real estate transaction, thus providing a seamless experience for your clients. So can you take a piece of that? I love that part. Providing a seamless experience for your clients. Is that something that you could put into your value proposition? By being a part of Keller Williams, I have access to the tools and technology that allow me to provide a seamless experience to both buyers and sellers. I think I just wrote one and I didn't even mean to. Okay. What does it mean to be a fiduciary? Being a fiduciary for your clients means that you place your best interest, their best interest, above anything else. While serving as a fiduciary, you simultaneously raise your level of service and the value you provide to your clients, which is what exemplifies your value proposition. Okay, so if you're a fiduciary, the client's needs come first, right? I always go back to the story. I wanted to go buy a new car. And by the way, that day I did. And the first lot I drove into, this salesman literally came running out of the front door, met me as I put the car in park, opened the door and says to me, "So what can I sell to you today?" I looked at him and I said, "Nothing," closed the door, backed up and left. Right? Because he didn't care about me. Who did he care about? Himself. Right? But what if he would have come to the door, opened it, offered me a cup of coffee or a bottle of water, and asked me what made me stop by today? Then he could have found all the right, flowery, nicer words to say than "Why are you here today?" Right? Thanks for coming. How about starting with that? Right? Thanks for coming here today. What can we help you with? Totally different experience, right? All right. Being a market expert. Has anybody been on a listing consultation lately? Okay. I will tell you, because we've got people here who've done them, so that's why I asked. So I will tell you, preparing for a listing consultation, I did it last night till about 11 o'clock, is so different than it was 3 months ago. 3 months ago, I was pulling sale comps. We were figuring out how much more higher we could go over and above, and we were rocking and rolling because we had zero competition. Last night, I'm looking at, here's all the houses within a half a mile of yours we're going to be competing against. And this is why we can't market it at 700,000, even though I think your house is worth 700. Because we can't be the highest priced house in the neighborhood. Because you all look the same. I'm going to make theirs look better when we're done staging it. But again, right, it's a completely different conversation. Right? You got to know your market. and you got to know it well. Days on market is huge.
Yeah, even door knocking, Margaret, has been people who want to talk. They want to hear what's happening in their neighborhood and how long houses have been on market, what things have been marked down to. They want specifics.
They do, right? Or at least something at a high level. Right? So what is your elevator speech, right? What is your 2-minute elevator speech about the market when somebody says, how's the market? Because I promise you, the next wedding, the next funeral, the next cocktail hour, the next anywhere you are, when you're around people who aren't realtors, you're going to get asked. The next open house, right? I had a great conversation. I probably had 8 conversations at a wedding the other night, and there was probably only 80 people at the wedding. So I hit 10%, right? And it was so great to have them talk about the market, because they don't know. They only know what they see in the media, which is about maybe a couple centimeters of accuracy, right? And they're listening to their friends who have no knowledge, but because they have PTSD from 2008 and 2009, the world's coming into an end and the whole market's crashing. Did you hear that? Now the media is not even saying that, right? But what is your answer to when somebody says, how's the market? Anybody want to share theirs? All right, so you want to hear mine? Okay, so I'm at the wedding Saturday night, market of the moment. Margaret, how's your business? It's good. It's good. So how's the market? Like how's that impacting you? And my answer is this. Well, thank goodness we're finally coming out of that extreme market that we just came out of. That hopefully we never see anything like that again. It was not good for sellers. It was not good for buyers because there just wasn't enough inventory. We still have insufficient inventory to meet demand. Right now, we have about a month and a half worth of inventory. It takes between 5 and 6 to have what's called a balanced market. So it's kind of nice to see it start to normalize. Interest rates, they're a little higher than they were, but they're still fair, right? A balanced interest rate market in a healthy market is between 7 and 8%. We're still right around 6 or under. So that's positive. And honestly, at least people get to make good decisions and have options right now. So I'm really glad that the market is normalizing and starting to stabilize. Did you hear all the calming words I used? It's normalizing, it's stabilizing. She walked away, but she's the most experienced one here. I was going to ask Stephanie. The market is stabilizing. Okay. It's not crashing, it's stabilizing. So that's what I say. And people are like, wow, that's a really good perspective. That makes sense. Okay. Get on the gospel train with me on that one, you guys. All right. So we talked about the value proposition because you're with Keller Williams. But what are some of the other things you bring to the table? Are you bilingual? Do you have a sales background? Did you grow up? Are you a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th generation realtor? What's your business degree? Do you have a degree in finance, accounting, business, real estate? All of those things, all of those components are a part of your value proposition. I am not bilingual, right? And when I have a client who speaks Spanish, I can't serve them well. I am so much better off either referring them to someone who speaks that language fluently or at least partnering with them because I'm better serving the client. Okay, so if you fall into that category, right? And it's not just Spanish, right? We have a huge population here. Mark speaks Russian, right? He has studied Russian. I mean, we've got a great Russian population here in the Denver metro area. If I happen to run into one of those that needs a client, do you not think Mark's going to be the first person I call to say, help me with this person? Because they're going to be more comfortable speaking the language they know, right? They're always going to be more comfortable in their first language. Make sense? So if you have those various skills, think about those, right? Part of what we're going to do today is really reflect on what makes you part of that. Okay. So other ways, let's see, there we go. Here are some ways and some words that you could use to talk about your value as being part of Keller Williams and our market centers.
Margaret?
Okay? Yes, sir.
Just so everyone knows, on the Ignite PDF, this section's 4.1.
Thank you, Mark.
Can I ask a favor? Can somebody put the link in, because I closed it and now I can't get back to it because the link is messed up. Can somebody put the link in the chat?
Yep.
The PDF
That would be helpful. Thank you.
Yep. Or let's do this. I can do that, but let me show you how to find it, because I think sometimes that's even better.
Yeah.
So if you go log into mykw.com, you will come to a screen like this. You should all be familiar with this screen, and you hit login. Okay. When you get logged in, this should be what your first screen is. By the way, family reunion, February 18th through the 21st. Okay. If you come up here at the top navigation bar where it says education, if you click on that, on the first row of pictures, the third one to the over is Ignite 2022. If you click on that, that takes you to the overarching page for Ignite. Go to materials. And right here is the Ignite participant guide. And you click on that. And there you are.
Thank you.
So, yep. So now you all know how to fish, but I am going to.
Thank you, because I just now got logged in, so I wasn't following.
That's okay. And then I'm going to do this as well. So there's that. So it's in the chat, but the problem is when it's in the chat, it only stays in the chat as long as you're in this Zoom. So now you know how to find it. And then for those of you that were asking about the conversations, if you go down to the appendix, and you can do a Control F in here. So I can write conversations. Of course, I got to do it because it's towards the end. Okay, so here you go. Here's where we start to find on page 325 is when we're going to start with the different scripts or conversation starters. So those are all in there as well. So, but Mark, you said we're on page 4.1, which is
yes, that's where it starts.
The PDF.
Give me a sec. I just have for the PDF, it just goes by the 4 the number.
Gotcha.
I'm on Apple, so I don't know if that's different numbering.
Okay, so session 4 begins on page 59 of the PDF. Okay. Everybody, that good? Did that help? All right, I'm gonna take that as a yes. All right, back, here we go. Right, so connect to your value, right? So some of the things that you can say is I have access to the collective knowledge and experience of nearly 200,000 agents worldwide. If you're in Keller Williams Avenues, if you're like, oh, I don't want to say 200,000, that's like scary to me. You can say, I have access to over 150 agents in my office alone. Right? If you add up all of the offices that Kevin's in OP, you have access to over 300. Okay. Fiduciary, I can point you to reputable resources for service providers such as handymen, window washers, tax associates, and financial advisors. Read, one of the great ways that is we're building our businesses to build out our vendor list, right? Who's your go-to roofer? Who's your go-to tax person? Who's your go-to window washer? Who's your go-to sprinkler guy, sewer guy, plumbing guy? Who's your guy for all things, okay? Market expert. I love this one. I can help you price your home to sell because I'm very tuned in to the market of the moment. If it were me, I would copy that sentence almost word for word. And I wrote a couple of them for buyers and sellers last night. And so you'll see I used almost this exact one, but I love that one. I can help you price your home to sell because I'm very in tune to the market of the moment. This listing presentation that I'm going to today, by the way, I already got the listing. This will be the 5th house I've sold for these guys. I got the work, right? I got to just help them price it right. And it's because of my market knowledge that we're going to do it right. Okay. All right. What are your ahas so far? Give me a couple. If you were born in January, February, or March, raise your hand. Okay. Becky, what's been your aha so far today? And you're on mute.
To be honest, I'm trying to keep up right now. I'm trying to get everything organized. So I can't say I have a huge aha other than I need to define my value. And I actually have been thinking about that, but I'm not there yet. So, so I do need to work on that elevator speech, as you say. We do that at level too. So
I love that.
Anyway.
I love that. And it will evolve, right? The value prop that I had in 2014, do you think it's different today?
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I just bought a house here, so I understand, you know, but I was here during the mass hysteria when I bought it. And so, yeah, I agree. I'm so glad it's better now.
Exactly. But that's part of your value, right? I just recently bought a home and I understood how hard it was for buyers.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I know, I bought one too. Fortunately, I found one off market. All right. Mark, you had your hand up. What was your aha this morning?
Basically to create a very concise, all-encompassing value proposition, which is going to be the kind of the key that's differentiate you from everyone else. And it's got to be a powerful statement.
Yep, absolutely. All right. So in order to write a good value proposition, another component to it is to make sure that we are meeting their needs, right? I can write a fabulous value proposition, but if they don't need what I'm providing value on, who cares, right? So we need to understand what matters most to buyers and sellers. So for a buyer, their goal is to find the right house, home, at the best price, in the right time, with the least number of problems, right? So for buyers, what do they want? Find me my house, the one I want, at the best price, in my timeline, with the least amount of hassles. Okay. For sellers, their goal is they want to net the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the least number of problems. So your value propositions want to address those things as you're writing them out, right? And I literally, if it were me, I would have two. In my buyer consultation, I would have one that's focused on buyers. In my seller consultation, I'd have one focused on sellers, and I would have it memorized so that regardless of who I'm talking to, I can split it. They're going to be very similar, right? Right timing, least amount of problems is consistent across both of them. Okay. What happens to your client's buyer and selling experience if you don't understand their purpose?
You're not going to align on the rest of what they're looking for.
You're not going to meet, you're not going to meet their expectations, right? If you don't understand what they want out of it, right? If you don't understand these two things, your experience is probably going to be less than stellar for them, okay? And trust me, when their experience is horrible, so is yours as the agent, okay? You're gonna always have things come up. I tell my buyers and sellers all the time, there will always be a speed bump somewhere. We don't know where it is, but we will always have a speed bump throughout the transaction, and we're gonna figure it out, okay? And when you have one that doesn't have a speed bump, you get really, really happy. The closing table is even more fun, but you will always find a speed bump. It might just be a little, it might be so little you barely noticed it. Sometimes it might be a big one, okay? And you didn't see it coming and it like bounced really bad, okay? All right. The other things that we want to understand, okay? Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I missed this piece. Okay, so what are some of the possible challenges that we can anticipate for our clients, and what can we do to prevent them?
I have an example.
I don't know who that was. Go ahead. Stephanie, was that you?
Yeah. With sellers, it's always a tough thing to talk to them about the status of, say, systems. So for example, I sold a condo recently and the heater had to go. It had to be replaced. And they didn't want to spend money. And I think most sellers don't, but I tried to explain to them it was their choice, of course. But if they replaced the furnace, that would be one less thing that would come back on inspection to bite them. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so I always just try to give them straight talk about the status of major systems, things that might come up on inspection, so that we can anticipate problems and deal with them before they happen.
Yep. Love that. I always tell them I don't like surprises. Mm-hmm. Right. As the homeowner, you don't want surprises, especially in this market, right? Sellers are having to negotiate again, right?
Yeah.
I will never forget. I sold my very first townhome, and my daughter was probably not quite 3 years old. And we had to negotiate on the price. And I had to come down because we were in a market where it was kind of like this one. Maybe not, maybe we had 3 months of inventory, but similar. Okay. And so sellers still had the upper hand, but we wasn't in that extreme land that we just came out of, that many of you, that's all you know. And so we negotiated, and I'm like, okay, this is my bottom dollar. Like, I can't do any more. Inspection happens. Furnace has a crack in it, unbeknownst to me. Surprise, guess who got to replace a brand new furnace? And oh, by the way, it wasn't a standard side furnace. It had to be one of those little chubby ones because it went into a crawl space in a townhouse, which are about twice the cost of a regular furnace. Do you think I would have negotiated differently had I known I was going to incur that expense? Mm-hmm. Yes. So I tell that story to my sellers. Let's get the furnace checked now so we know what we're dealing with. And if it needs to be replaced, let's get it done now, because now we already know it, and we know that as we go into the negotiation phase. So I always talk about, let's get some of these big things that could be surprises checked. Okay. All right. So another one could be the sellers having second thoughts about selling your home. I've had that happen. Right. So we got to take the time to understand what's their motivation to move. We need to understand what their price point is. We need to talk to them about the risks of starting over. Right. Sellers like the one we were working on last night. Right. He's like, nope, I'm not budging. This is my number, and I don't care that it didn't, whatever. And my comment was, that's fine. You can take that stand. The buyer's probably going to terminate, which they did at 11:30 last night. Buyer's going to terminate, and now we get to go back on the market. Market's changed since you went under contract 6 weeks ago. We're probably not going to get even this number, let alone the one you say you want. And we're going to spend more time on the market. We're going to have more carrying costs. We're going to have all of those things. So I had to be able to talk to him about the risks of taking the stand that he chose to take. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see if he was right or I was right. Okay. Some strategies you can have in place to prevent challenges. One is making sure that you understand the mindset of buyers and sellers, which we've kind of talked a lot here. Okay. You've communicated with all stakeholders. If you're working with a buyer, are you talking to their lender on a weekly basis? Or do you wait till the night before closing and Wells Fargo calls and says, we're not gonna be able to close tomorrow? Are you talking to the seller? Are you talking to the title company? Are you talking to the people that are the stakeholders involved, right? Are you spending enough time with your clients? Pro tip, take it for what it's worth. On my calendar, and if I pulled my calendar up, you would see it. There is an hour on Mondays and an hour on Fridays, and it's called client communication time. And it's during those windows that I call the clients that I'm currently working with. If it's my sellers, I'm typically calling them on Monday to let them know what happened over the weekend and where we are. And if it's my buyers, if we're in the middle of negotiating an offer, I'm going to let them know where we are, and I'll stay in touch with them throughout the day and the timeline when we get information back. And on Friday, my buyer communication is, here's the houses we're going to go see. Are you ready? But I'm checking in with my buyers. Now I'll call them through the rest of the week, right? Inspections are due, appraisals come back. I'm going to check in. I'm going to have those times as needed. But you can guarantee, I tell my clients, you will hear from me on Monday mornings and you'll hear from me on Friday afternoons. Actually, it's Monday afternoons and Friday mornings, but you get the gist. Find time in your calendar and just start blocking it now. And if you don't have clients to communicate with, then just use that time to communicate with your friends, family, and people you want to get to know better. Okay. Spend enough time with your clients. Handle or closely oversee the contract to close process. If you miss a deadline, shame on you. So there's different ways you can do that, right? You can use checklists, right? We've taught in Avenues, we've taught skills labs, and I've shared the checklist that we use in my team as far as how to manage a transaction. We have what's called transaction coordinators in the offices. A transaction coordinator is someone that you can hire who will actually go and manage that transaction in the paperwork. They don't negotiate, but they will upload stuff in Command. They'll enter things in your MLS. They will take care of all the paperwork to make sure that you get paid at the closing table. We have 2 at Avenues that both do a really nice job. I know also we have them also in Castle Rock and in Foothills. And if you need references on that, just let me know and I have them. Well worth their dime because they don't get paid if you don't get paid.
What are they called?
They're called a transaction coordinator or a transaction manager, or the acronym is TC. Does anybody here other than me use a TC? Robert's starting to, right? You're new to this business. Isn't it nice to know you have somebody else looking over your shoulder who's double checking that you don't miss something? Yeah, she's kind of a pain, yours, but that's okay, right? Some of you've tried to go it on your own. It's not always easy, right? Spending that time uploading stuff in Command and then figuring out you didn't do it right and having to go back and redo it 20 times. It ain't no party. Get better use of your time. But you still have to understand it, right? You still have to management. So even though I have a TC who does a fabulous job, okay, I'm still responsible, right? So if I'm not seeing, when was that inspection deadline? When was that appraisal due back? Like, I'm going to go to the contract and check myself. So I still have checkpoints in myself. I'm not completely hands off, but it's sure nice to have that extra layer of support. Okay. Anticipate challenges and take preventive action to avoid them. If you got a listing, get the HVAC clean before you go on the market. Just know what you got to work with, right? By the way, roof inspections. Can anyone tell me how much roofers charge to go inspect a house? How much, Stephanie? What was it? I couldn't hear you.
Nothing.
Nothing. Give a roofer, have them go out and check the roof on your listing before you even hit the market. Eliminate the surprises, right? Because sometimes there's damage to those roofs that was done by a hailstorm, and your client didn't even know we had a hailstorm. But right now, getting through the insurance claim process takes a while. So get ahead of it. Get ahead of it. Okay. Always look for creative solutions. I believe that the #1 job of a real estate professional is to solve problems. Think outside the box. Okay. Questions, thoughts?
Now, is there like a spreadsheet or a list of all this? Because the new agents don't know what we don't know. Like, you know, to have to do all this before, or when you get out of school.
So yes. So part of when we get later in Ignite, there will actually be some checklists and some of those types of things. We've actually taught classes. I think we need to have Matt come back in and teach, but I've taught one similar. I'm under contract now. What the H do I do? Okay. What the heck do I do? So yes, there's classes we can take. Part of it's in Ignite. Part of it is reaching out to me or your coach, talking to other agents, and just, again, the more you are plugged in, the easier it is. So Taylor Vondertop, there you are. You raised your hand anyway. You just recently went through your very first transaction. Right
Yes,
after graduating from college. So you never even bought a house on your own. And you chose to manage the transaction completely on your own. And you did so very well. I want to say that up front.
Thank you.
But how did you get through that? How did you do it?
Yeah, I was just kind of raising my hand to speak on this. It's doable. It's very daunting at first because you're just kind of, this is a very learn as you go business, and you just kind of have to have that confidence and portray it to your clients. They happen to be really good family friends. So it was an awesome kind of first transaction for me because they knew I was new. However, I still wanted to make them feel comfortable and confident. This is a huge thing that I'm doing for them. So I was definitely learning as I went and just asking as many questions as possible. And they have a really great way of, Margaret literally sent me this. I believe I called her at like 9 o'clock at night and I was like, hey, this actually just happened. So we're going to need to get the ball rolling here. What's next? And it's possible. And there's like very, very planned out steps. And as long as you follow them and keep asking questions, it's extremely doable. And I would just say that you're going to have to learn as you go. That's just kind of the industry that we're in, but it's definitely doable. And just taking these classes and like educating yourself as much as you can while you're in the midst of transactions is just how you're going to learn as much as possible.
Yep. And there's a section in the contract to buy and sell called dates and deadlines. Okay. If nothing else, follow the deadlines, right? As far as, okay, earnest money is due on this day. Do I have the buyer or the seller? I got the buyer. Mr. Buyer, here's the amount of earnest money you need to pay. Here's where you need to take it. Here's their address and here's how you do it. Okay. If I'm on the seller side and it's earnest money, I'm going to go, well, I'm going to wait and see if they turn it in. I'll follow up if I don't hear anything by the end of that day. Title commitment is due. Whose responsibility is that? Seller, I better order the title commitment. All right, I better order the title work so the commitment gets to the buyer on time. So a lot of times just following the dates and deadlines helps you get to know at least what questions to ask next. Okay. And when you have your very first transaction, your coach, whether it's me or Jody or Tracy, depending on what market center you're in, we will be on speed dial, right? For those of you that are in avenues, we have what's called Ask the Coach twice a day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 8:30, 2:30 to 3. But if nobody shows up, I shut it down after 10 minutes. So the moral to the story is get on early, but you have access to that stuff. Okay. Great question. All right. The top 10 service areas of a buyer value proposition. So this is the things that as we are doing them, these are the service agents provide to buyer. We do a needs analysis. We do a pre-qualification or get a pre-approval with a lender. We identify neighborhood information. We help them with a home search. We make the offer. We negotiate the contract. We coordinate with vendors like home inspectors. We do pre-close preparation. We go to the closing and we may do some post-closing. Okay. The top 10 service areas of a seller value proposition: needs analysis, pricing strategy, property preparation, cleanliness, staging, marketing strategy, receiving offers, negotiating, selling, pre-close preparation, closing, and post-closing. Okay, those are the things, those are the tactical things that we do, the top 10 things. What buyers want most from their agent. When you look at this chart, what do you see?
Red.
Okay, what does the red one stand for, Stephanie?
Finding the right home to purchase. That's where you spend the most time.
The number one thing that buyers want most from you is to help them find the right home. And the easiest way to do that efficiently is an amazing buyer consultation, which, oh, you're going to learn. We're going to teach you. Okay. But it comes down to asking questions, right? The best consultation is the one that asks a ton of questions. Okay. The second most valuable things that buyers want from you is to help them negotiate the term of the sale. The third one is to help with the price negotiations. and then others. 24% is other. So if I'm looking at this chart, 52% is let's find them the right home. I'm going to spend a lot of time on the needs analysis. A lot of time. Okay. All right. Why is this doing this? Okay. All right. The factors that buyers value when choosing an agent. Hold on a minute. Okay, I get it. Okay, factors buyers value when choosing an agent. This is the downside to being one of the first market centers to present this new Ignite is I don't know it really well. And so I'm like, wait a minute, what did we cover? And it's the next slide. Okay, factors buyers value when choosing an agent. The number one thing they want from you is for you to be honest and trustworthy. 44% want you to be honest. They didn't ask how long you've been in the business. That's not the most important thing to them. It's your honesty and your integrity. Experience is important, but it's only 19%. That's pretty small when you look at that from 100, right? And then the reputation of the agent, that's a little bit of it. But the biggest thing is your honesty. Sorry, that's 20%. 44% is in the other. Okay. Isn't that interesting? Only 20% is the biggest one, right? But when you go back to what they want from you, they want you to help them find the right home. But what kind of person you are, only 20% has the biggest number. So it's a very varied chart. Okay. Okay. Oops. Okay. What sellers want most? What's the number one thing the sellers want?
It's close. They want other.
Yeah, other, right? 27% is other, right? 21 is help pricing them competitively and help them market the house. So 41% is pricing and marketing. So think about it. If you know the market and you know how to do a CMA and you know how to explain it well, you're halfway home, right? That's what they want. They want to know how to price their home. They all know the Zestimate is horrible. They've heard it. They know it. But what else do they have to rely on if we don't help them? Okay. Factors seller consider when choosing an agent is your reputation. Then they want you to be honest. And then 17% use an agent because they're friend or family. Then you have this big hunk of other, right? So your reputation, and guess what? Your reputation of an agent doesn't have to be based on how many sales you've had. What's your reputation as a human? Okay. How many of you, and I might have done this session one, but how many of you have worked another job? Okay. How many of you could go to coworkers or past bosses and get an amazing review? Okay. Go get it. The review doesn't have to say, Mark helped me buy 15 houses and he was amazing. But what it could say is, Mark has a strong work ethic and always puts my needs first. He's a great communicator. That's true in any business, right? So if you have those kinds of people in your world that can give you those kinds of testimonials, please go get them. My first buyer consultation, my testimonial page came off my LinkedIn. And it came from 2 sales VPs in telecom who talked about my high level of detail and my excellent communication skills. It didn't say as vice president of global operations. It just said, this is who I was. And the third one was the best one. It was my former realtor. I bought and sold multiple homes with him. And his comment was, I have bought and sold over 3 homes with Margaret. She's always a great communicator. Well, he was talking about me as his client, but nobody in the rest of the world knew that. Is that helping? That's your reputation. Go back into your past skill sets, Get those validations and bring them into what you're doing today. Okay? Helpful?
Yes.
Okay. All right. One of the things, so as an example on this one that they give, right? As a newer agent, you might be going, but I don't have a reputation. Well, we kind of just talked about that, right? But here's what you can do if you can't go find it the way I just said. Keller Williams has the strongest reputation in our market for helping people with their real estate needs in the fastest time frame and with the least number of problems. There's a value prop. If you don't know what else to say, use that one. Keller Williams has the strongest reputation in our market for helping people with their real estate needs in the fastest time frame and with the least number of problems. Okay. Got it? Using our technology, right? Keller Williams is committed to adding to your value proposition in today's market. That means investing in tech that propels your business forward. Okay. Being a Keller Williams agent means that essentials you need to start building your brand and nurturing relationships are available to you. Here are just a few of the examples. Smart plans. You have your contacts uploaded into Command. Your leads are uploaded into Command. You can create smart plans, or, oh, by the way, you can use ones that are already created called R&D, rip off and duplicate. Okay. And you can use those to build deeper relationships. You can use our consumer app, right? It's a great super app. It's got our search app. It's got artificial intelligence in it, and you can put it in the hands of your client to be able to communicate with you. And then the last one is we've got our internal websites, right? Where people can search for homes and all of that stuff. One of the things I learned, so one of my dearest friends is a brand builder. That's what she did until she retired. And so when I first went into business, I went out to Adrian and I said, I need you to help me. Like, I need to have these really killer consult presentations, and I need to have, you know, killer letterhead, and I need to have amazing email communications and marketing and all of that. And I need you to help me. And how much will you charge me? And I went out with what we had at that time, which is nothing compared to what you all have. Let me just say that. And she looked at me and she said, why would you pay me? You have everything you need right here. It's plug and play. Okay. So for those of you that are newer and going, oh my God, I need, just plug into Command. Go take those classes from Chris, right? Set up one-on-ones with him. I will tell you, Chris Voorhees, because he supports all 3 offices, will sit down one-on-one with you on anything you need related to tech. Okay. Some of you have taken advantage of that because I know that, and it's going to help drive you forward. So if I'm speaking a foreign language to you, his name is Chris Voorhees, Voorhees. Okay. So what would your value proposition look like if you don't know how to write it because you're new and you're with Keller Williams? You might say, with my innovative technology, I meet you where you are. We can handle most of our transactions through your phone or laptop. It's all about convenience for you. Okay. So there's another compare to a value proposition that you can bring in the tools that we have to meet your client's needs because it's convenient. What do you mean I have to drive from Bailey to Conifer to come sign a piece of paper? I mean, I got to drive from Monument up to Castle Rock. They don't have to. With our technology, they don't have to do that. None of you are old enough to remember the old days when it was all on paper. Okay. Ahas. What'd you take away from that section about the value prop and the buyer and seller needs?
I think
where's my October, November, December babies? We don't have any Halloween babies? You're all hiding now. All right, Stephanie, go.
I was going to say that this is, again, something I didn't, I'm leaning into more now than I did, but don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel if you're a new agent. Lean on the Keller Williams brand. It's really solid. People know it. It's got a great reputation. You're part of that.
Yep, absolutely. Taylor?
I was just gonna say, I love how Stephanie is here also, just because it shows that like your value proposition is ever changing.
Mhm.
So's my
Exactly.
mind, Taylor.
Right. As we grow with more experiences, right? The more we need, right? And here's what I'm going to tell you. I have only once been asked how long I've been a realtor. Robert, you just recently signed a listing and a buyer consultation 2 weeks after you joined the coaching program. So 2 agreements are signed and we got 2 buyers that are being pre-qualified. So we're hustling in Robert's world. Okay. Did any of them ask you how long you've been in the business? No. No. He's out hustling. He's talking to people. He's talking confidently. Boom, we're done. They're not going to ask. If you come in sheep, come in like a sheep, that's when you get asked. Okay. All right. So we've covered what a value prop is, why we want to have one, and the benefit to our customers. That was the first section. Then we also talked about what buyers and sellers have expressed as what's most important to them. Okay. These are going to be the guidelines to help you define your own value proposition. So the 3 steps to define your value proposition are, first one, I'm tired of talking. Robert, what's number 1? Yep.
Identify your knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs that make you qualified to be a great real estate agent.
Okay. So identify your knowledge, your attitude, your skills and beliefs. Pull from a past life. Okay. Number 2, Jackie.
Transform the value you provide and the value of KW and your market center into benefits for your clients.
Yep. So what are the things that you have available, either you yourself or us, the offices, and how does that benefit your client? So turn it into a benefit. And then the finale, Lizbeth.
Build your value proposition statement.
Build your value proposition statement. What do you believe in? Okay. So in the participant guide, I believe there is a chart where you can begin to fill in some of these attributes. So let's do this. Does anybody know the page? Let's see. Okay, it wasn't called session 4. Yes, it is. It is called session 4. All right, let's do
4.10.
Yeah.
Page 69 of the PDF.
Page 69 of the PDF. Thank you. Oh, I know why this one didn't work. Because this is my download. I cheated. I downloaded the PDF. So if you don't have the PDF downloaded, take out a piece of paper, right? So this is what page 69, let's see. Okay, so actually it starts on page 68, okay? So if you look at this, what I have up on the screen, to define your knowledge, attitude, skills, and benefits, just start scribbling down, what's your knowledge, right? What's your college degree? What are your life experiences? What are your attitudes? Committed, honest, integrity. What are your skills? Are you a good problem solver? Good negotiator? Are you a good listener? Okay, and then when you're done with those, let's skip over to the next page from your attributes and how do they benefit your clients. So if you take your knowledge of integrity, how does that benefit your client? In an example, it's honest, dedicated service and the assurance that you will keep the commitments you make. So when you transform the value you provide and value KW to your clients, think through your knowledge, attitudes, skills, beliefs, and how they can be beneficial. Many of your life experiences can be relevant to real estate. If you don't see it, look at it from another angle. Even if you haven't articulated it to yourself, you have already used your experience to help others. Here's an example. Perhaps you were a teacher or a little league coach. You have experience helping others. How did your personal experience make you especially helpful? And how could you use that in the future? When considering how to make it real estate relevant, think about what buyers and sellers say are the most important factors to them, right? It's about helping them find the best house. Now think through how the value you receive from KW in your market center can be beneficial. Let's say that your market center averages 98.9% of listing price. When meeting with a potential client, you can share that statistic with them, our office, our team. However, it does not convey the full scope of your value to the clients. Instead, you can say you get the best sale price for your home due to your thorough training and negotiation. Okay. The hammering in here is annoying, but one day I was teaching in here and they were jackhammering.
Oh gosh.
All right, got to start. Everybody got a good start? That's all I'm going to ask today. Okay. Anybody want to share anything off of that exercise? Becky looked like she was ready.
I have too many words though. You know, I mean, it's long. So
Okay.
figure out how to make it shorter.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like I have a pretty good value proposition because I have been thinking about it for a while. And I feel like I can bring value. I have a lot of experience buying and selling personally, and also just helping working with customers has you know, from the engineering world has been a big part of my life for a long time.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Well, let's go back. Let me find where I need to be.
I just want to give one little tidbit about this. We actually had someone come when we were trying to sell our house in Fort Worth, Texas, and they came and they gave us this long presentation. And I got to say, that turned my husband and I off. We did not like a long presentation about how they were going to help us. We just want, I mean, because maybe it was just because we were more experienced. We just wanted to know what they thought our house valued at and how are we going to market it. That's all we wanted to know.
I love that. I love that. That's one of the things that is super important, right? Because what you're going to learn in the buyer and seller consultation is it's not about me, the realtor. It's about you, the buyer or the seller.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell me, right? Like, and it's asking questions like, you know, tell me what's driving, you know, your move.
Yeah.
Right? There's a reason why you're moving. I don't like to ask the why question because if I come up to you and say, why are you moving? It tends to put people on the defense. So I try and refocus my questions and not use the why word. Right? So tell me what's driving this potential move for you guys. Oh, you're moving to Colorado. What takes you there? We want to be closer to family and our grandkids. Oh, how old are the grandkids, right? Like I'm going to make it all about you.
Yeah.
Right? What's your timeline? What are your needs? What are your goals in the sale of the home? Right? The biggest compliment I ever got was when I was up against, when you do relo and I do relo. First of all, with relo, you're always competing with another agent or two. And I didn't happen to get this one particular one, but the best compliment I got out of the deal was that I was the only agent that took the time to ask about them and address their needs. I lost it because I didn't have one little silly piece of paper on a certification, right? Big deal. Where everybody else went out and spent an hour, as you said, talking about them and their results and how great of an agent they were. And honestly, you don't care because what did the sellers want to know most?
What are you going to do for me?
How are you going to market my property and how are we going to price it? Right? All the rest of that is fluffy money. Love that. All right. Anybody else want to share what you identified in your strengths and how you converted them to being a benefit from your client? Okay. Here we go. Now we're going to do it. We're going to build a value proposition. Okay. So I want you to take a first step. Okay. The strongest value proposition for your client combines the value you offer backed by the value of Keller Williams and our market center. And remember, it's not about perfection. Okay. But I want you to think about just one of the things that you bring to the table, how it benefits your client and what they want from us. Turn it into a value statement. Photos are Thursday, huh, Robert?
Hmm?
Your photos are Thursday?
It should be Thursday or Friday.
Awesome. Yep. Andy just texted me.
Oh, yeah.
So they got it painted already?
It's getting painted tomorrow morning.
Nice. Then you'll go finish the staging. Nice. Is Kim painting the whole place?
I'm not sure. I think I left it up to her discretion on what she thinks because I don't know squat about it. So I told her if you think we can get away with just a wall or two.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Anybody want to share their value proposition? I want to hear yours before I'll share mine. Go, Stephanie.
I will work on your behalf to serve your needs, helping you to identify the most important parts of your real estate transaction, getting you through the process smoothly, and communicating clearly each step of the way.
Love it. Love it. All right. Anybody else?
I'll take a stab at it. I don't think it's perfect at all.
No, we don't want perfect. Go for it.
I have experience in this market from this year, but I know it's a lot different now. I can help you value your home and market it, and Keller Williams can bring a huge network to work within. You can expect me to actively communicate with you, to take actions that I will commit to and follow up on those actions and follow up with you, and then tailor the process to help meet your needs.
Good. Good. I love it. First stabs are always fun. It's taken me a long time, guys, right? So, and you will evolve them. So here are two that I wrote last night. I wrote one for a buyer and one for a seller. I like my seller one better, so I'll save that one. So for the buyer, I wrote, I can help you find your next home and purchase it at a fair price by utilizing the most current technology and combining my negotiation skills and knowledge of our current market conditions. Okay. Here's the one I wrote for sellers, because I decided not to make them last night as I was doing this. I'm like, I don't want to combine them, right? Because buyers and sellers may not always have the same needs. So if I'm working with a seller, it might sound something like this. And I'm a team, so I did our proven marketing strategies, along with our knowledge of the market of the moment and negotiation skills, will allow us to net you the most amount of money from the sale of your home with the least amount of hassle. Okay, so that's where you want to go. So as you go through your business, right, as you're writing your listing consultations, as you're writing your buyer docs, you know, when we get to that part where we're putting together those packages, right, think about what message you want to send to that particular piece. Okay, hold on, I need to answer this text really quick. Okay, all right. Woo, we're not going to do the role play. Ahas. Well, I say, great job defining your value proposition, right? It's made you think, right? And it's not meant to be a permanent statement. It's meant to evolve you as you grow in your career and as the needs of your clients change. Many of you are going to lean into the value of Keller Williams or your market centers, right? Because you don't have the 6, 7, 8 years of experience in real estate, right? So where I said our marketing, our strategic marketing, you might say our office, right? Or our team, but it's going to evolve. So just know that. As you become the real estate expert of choice, be sure to always evaluate the effectiveness of your value proposition and refine it. I would take a look at it once a year, right? Business planning clinics are about to be happening here really soon, and make that part of your business planning as you're getting ready for next year. How have my value propositions changed? What messaging do I want to send? I will be honest, we look at ours every time we run out of the pre-printed supplies of presentations and we need to reorder them. We look to make sure does the content still relevant. Okay. All right. So that's the end of the value proposition section. Okay. Now we'll get to the fun part. All right. Ready to have fun?
Yes.
All right. So what I want to know, since you've been through these first, oh, we lost some people. Oh, that's not good. Okay. So since we've been through the first almost 4 sessions now of Ignite, I want to know, how has your thinking changed from the day that you first walked in the door? How has your thinking changed in the last 4 days?
I can interject here on that.
Go for it.
I feel like it's not as daunting as when I started, although I am very overwhelmed by just everything, all the information and all of the tech stuff, that I just feel like because we can implement all these processes, that it's going to be much easier when it comes down to just all of that.
Okay. Love it. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, I'll share. I think it's just been really great, the kind of practical knowledge you guys are imparting, and kind of along the same lines as Ariel was saying, just I can do this, you know, I mean, I see actions I can take to start doing this. It's only been, let's see, it's been about a week, almost maybe 2 weeks for me since I got my license, maybe a week and a half. And I'm super excited about the practical steps that can be taken.
Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, as I took the slide down because I wanted to see everybody's faces. So the other question I would ask, what do you feel differently about? What, over these 4 days, what has changed something that you feel about? Alfred says, my mindset has moved from a more passive stance to a more active one. I love it, right? Action, right? There's a bold law, right? Is that, you know, there's certain, I got to find it, right? It's called, something makes you think and emotion makes you do. I'll have to find it. But anyway, right? Anytime we can get into action, right? The emotion takes into action. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that. All right. How will your behaviors be different going forward? What actions are you going to take? I feel more confident in my purpose. Love that. Okay.
I could say something as well. I think that it's a very on the fly business. So I know myself personally always wants things to be perfect before I implement them, but that's really, I need to like shift that and start implementing things kind of as I go, and you can always change things. And it's almost even better because you see how it's actually kind of impacting people out in the real world, whether like before you even just like try to perfect it, you can actually see what's really working. So it's always changing.
Love that. Yep, absolutely. All right, and the last one, let me find out what it says. What tools, models, or systems are you planning to use? So as a result of any of this that you've heard in the last 4 days, is there one thing that you're going to implement into your business starting right now?
I'm using the command for all the KW command for all the contacts and starting to think about how to build smart plans.
Love that. And the beauty of it is there's so many already built, you don't even have to make them up. All right, they're already out there. A lot of agents have posted what they've done. So that's super helpful. Love that. Anybody else? You're a quiet group. Don't make me get up and make you guys do jumping jacks. Okay. So our success system, okay? We know based on the research that Gary and Jay and a whole lot of really smart people did when they initially wrote the MREA, is that there is a system to being successful, right? And we know that system, we know that system includes Margaret's ability to move this forward, right? Is that we need to role play every day. We have accountability partners, right? We're going to call each other tomorrow, right? We're going to do that. And if some of you that joined late, you need an accountability partner, catch me after this and we'll get you set up. We're going to practice for 20 minutes a day with a partner. Okay. For 10 minutes, we're going to prepare our call lists, which is easy to do. And then we're going to go out and we're going to actually have conversations with people. Okay. And we're going to do that for a while. And then we're going to take the information we get from that 45 minutes of talking to the real world, right? And Lizbeth shared earlier that she discovered she really does have people she can talk to. Okay. We got them in our phone. We got them in our Facebook. They're everywhere, right? And then we're going to update our database with what we have. This is our goal every single day. We want to have 10 conversations. We want to add 10 people to our database. We want to write 10 handwritten notes. How many of you have started writing handwritten notes? Oh, there's Stephanie's got hers. That looks like a pumpkin.
Happy fall, y'all.
I love it. Right? Great time to send just a little note to people. Happy fall, y'all. I was in Target the other day and I had to resist all the super cute little cards they had. It was crazy. Okay. Yes. And then we want to do our 10-5-1 in social media. Now, 10-5-1 is a little different than those of you that have been coaching with me. And we talk about the 10 posts a week and the 75 a week. The 10-5-1 is daily. We're going to do 10 likes, 5 comments, and 1 direct message. That works fine. I like the other one better. You'll get more business out of it. I just want you doing something. Okay. To me, that's the key. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to get myself on the right tab. And I already talked about this because I knew that slide. Okay. So first of all, I am required to tell you that if somebody's on the do not call list, please don't call them. All right. So affirmations. Affirmations set us up in our mind. Okay. If I wake up tomorrow morning and I say, ugh, it's raining, it's going to be a crappy day. What kind of day am I going to have? Crappy day. If I wake up tomorrow morning and it's raining and I go, thank goodness it's not going to be 100 degrees today. This is going to be awesome. What kind of day am I going to have? It's going to be an awesome day. This goes true with everything. I say affirmations on my way to listing presentations. I say affirmations on my way to open houses. Some days I say affirmations on my drive to work going, please let me get through Monday morning's coaching sessions, right? So affirmations are huge. The best way to do affirmations is to stand up. Okay, I'm watching you on Zoom. Stand up. I'm up too. Okay. All right. Hopefully by standing up, you can still see your screen. And this is what we're going to say to ourselves. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. Okay. So you ready? We're going to say it together. Ready? I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. Okay, so I think everybody was muted on Zoom. Were you guys saying it?
Yes.
All right, so I want to hear it so loud that Matt comes in and tells me to quiet down. You ready? 1, 2, 3. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. And it's always so much fun because Zoom is always on delay. All right. How do you feel now? Are we ready to make some calls?
Yep.
Okay, so oh wait, somebody chatted. Alfred doesn't have a message, so I got to check. I have to stay on top of chats, and I'm not very good at it. Okay, yes, Taylor, these will be found. You can find the recordings of these on the YouTube channel. We are actually, if you go out to the YouTube channel today, you will find all of the recordings from the old Ignite. Great content. If you're getting ready to go meet with a buyer or a seller and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait. I got to get this buyer consultation done now. Go out and watch those. Stacy is uploading these as fast as she possibly can. I think the first 2 are already uploaded. The third may already be. So if you want to go back and watch me be crazy a week ago today, go ahead. Right? It's out there for you. So that is awesome. So thanks for the reminder on that, Taylor. Okay, so we're going to do role play. So in role play, I will break you guys up into rooms online. But what I want you to role play is, if you go to your books at the end, remember I said it was towards the end under the conversations. There's a conversation for those of you that are brand new to the business. I want you to use the one that says new to real estate conversation starter. Okay. If you have been in the business for a while and you're not brand new, I want you to use the second one. Nope, that's not the one. The third one. It's the inventory one. And we're going to remind them that you're in real estate.
Go up. You just passed it, I think.
No, I want this one.
Oh.
I want you to remind them that you're in a real estate. Hello, this is Margaret. Do you have a moment? You know, it's been a while and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. How have you been? I never apologize. I just say, I can't believe time's gotten away from me. Okay. Then I'm going to go into Ford. And then here is probably one of the most powerful scripts you can use. Jeff Glover, again, I coach with Jeff, and he says he makes millions of dollars on this paragraph alone. I've been busy growing my real estate business with Keller Williams and working with great people like you, because they may not always be clients. I wanted to share that I have a personal goal to help 15 of families get into the home of their dreams this year. Or maybe it's 3 by the end of the year, whatever it is. As you already know, I'll do whatever it takes to help people. May I count on you to help me reach my goal? I love that paragraph, right? Stephanie, can you imagine calling even your clients that you closed a year ago and just sharing with them that it's your goal to help 2 more people, 2 more families between now and the end of the year? Can I count on you to help me? Because now what's that going to get them to start thinking about?
Who do they know?
Who can they refer to me? Right? When you share goals with people, they help you. Okay. I don't know if Chris is still on the phone. Chris is a personal trainer. If I said to Chris, my goal is that I'm able to lift 75 pounds without feeling like I'm going to die by the end of the year, would Chris be somebody who might be helping me get there? Yes. If I told all of you, my goal is to get to the point that I can deadlift 75 pounds, which by the way, for me would be really difficult. Okay. You'd all help me, wouldn't you? Even if it was a check-in every once in a while, a text that says, hey, Mark, how you doing? What are you up to? You're up to 35. That's awesome. Keep going, right? This is what that message does. But for most of us, we're going to do the first one. So for most of us, it's going to be, yep, it's going to be this first one. So if you're on Zoom, just mute, but please do this because I will be watching the camera to see if I see lips moving. Okay, so this is the script we're going to do. Actually, let's do it this way. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to break you guys into rooms. The 3 of you can practice here in the room. We're going to script practice really quick, and then we're going to do it. Okay, so hello, this is Margaret. How have you been? Oh, that's awesome. Are you still working at King Soopers? Wow, that's cool. Love that. So, hey, I'm reaching out to share that I am now a real estate agent with Keller Williams. And I thought of you because I knew you would be someone to help me grow my business, especially since you know my track record and commitment to doing the very best. And then they're going to respond, right? I'd like to share my free real estate app with you. It's so easy to check what's for sale and for what price on your street, in your neighborhood, or any place in the US and Canada. I can send you a text with a link. Does that sound good? I'd also like to offer a real estate update on your neighborhood. You can also add additional neighborhoods you may be interested in and even customize how often you receive the update. All I need is your current address and email, and you'll start receiving it right away. Do you mind sharing this information with me? Thanks. I am building my business with people I know and the people they know. Do you know of anyone from work, your neighborhood, or a group you belong to who's thinking of buying or selling a home or investing in real estate? I'd be pleased to be a resource for them. If they give you a name, would you mind sharing their name and phone number or email so I can contact them? Thank you so much. If you think of anyone else I can help, just send me a text with their contact information. Do you have my number? Please keep me in mind for all of your real estate needs. If they say no, can't think of anyone, thanks for taking a moment to think about it. If you think of anyone, please give me a call or send me a text. And it's the same script as above. Okay. Now, when you're actually live with somebody, let's be honest. Are you going to follow that script exactly? Kaboom, 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 kaboom. No, the other person's going to be carrying on a conversation with you. The purpose of memorizing these 4 paragraphs or 5 paragraphs is so that depending on what they say, you'll know how to respond. When they say, how's the market? You're going to give your response, and then you're going to say, you know what? I do a regular real estate update that's neighborhood specific, and you can add other neighborhoods if you're thinking about moving to a different one. Would that be of value to you? Right? I would go right into that, offer the real estate update. Okay. So does that make sense to you guys? All right. So in the room, I'm going to let you guys use this one. Does everybody have this pulled up so that if I throw you into a room, somebody's got the script? All right, here we go. This is my favorite part. And hey, if I jump into your room, don't talk to me. I'm just there to observe. Let's see how this works. All right, have fun, you guys. All right, so you guys practice here between the 3 of you. Respond to each other a little bit, right? When Robert's doing it, he says, hi, this is Robert. Say, well, hi, Robert, how you doing? Like, make it feel like it's a conversation with somebody that you know, okay?
Okay, so I can go first. I will do Robert.
Okay.
And then let's see. Okay. Ring. So ring.
Hello.
Hi, Robert. This is Jackie. How are you?
Good.
How's the family?
They've definitely been better. Little one's sick.
Oh no. Are you still working at King Supers?
No, not. I'm in real estate now.
Oh, good. And then are we going? So maybe we switch this. Because then I'm doing this and you're going to do it.
So Robert's the one that's answering the phone. So you know each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. So you said hello. And then he said, the kid's sick. Okay. So he just told you he wants to talk about family. Okay. How's the family? He says,
I'll go down the whole floor.
You don't know. Nope. Those are just triggers. You pick one based on their lead, right? So how are things going? And he's going to say, things are going well. The kid's a little sick right now. Oh no, what's going on? Carry on a conversation because you've really known Robert. So you're just carrying on a conversation. Okay. How old is the little one now? Right? Because they grow up at a blink of an eye. Right. So those are the kinds of things that you just kind of do back and forth. Okay.
Hello. Hi, Robert. This is Jackie. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. And then if he just says I'm doing good,
then ask one of those questions.
Okay. And unless he's specific, then I just ask one.
Right. Okay. And normally I would expect him to reply back, right? Like if we were friends, I'd expect him not to just say, oh, things are good, and then not say anything. Like so you're carrying on a conversation with people.
Like if I don't know him personally, but I know him from work, then I might ask work and not family.
Yeah. Okay. You might say, how are things going at work, or how are things in your department, or, that type of stuff. But when you say, hi, Robert, it's Jackie. How are you doing? He's going to not just say good and stop talking, right? That's not normal, right? Normal would be, things are, well, I'm hoping not. You're a sales guy, right? It's, things are going great. How about you, Jackie? And you're going to say, well, things are really good. And then you can go into, because he didn't give you a clue, you can go into whichever one of those makes sense based on your relationship. You can say, how's the family? How's work? Hey, I saw on Facebook you just went to Alaska on a cruise. How was that? Right? Like you gotta, it's hard when you role play because you don't know each other at that level.
Right.
But you got to pretend that you do.
Okay.
So try that again.
Ring, ring. Hello. Hi, Robert. This is Jackie. How are you?
I've been good. Family's been a little better.
Oh, good. What's going on?
Oh, a little one sick.
Oh, no. How old is he?
4.5 months.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they grow quickly.
Oh, yeah. She's ginormous now.
So I saw on Facebook that you got a new job.
Yeah. I've been enjoying real estate a little bit.
Oh, good. So you see how it went from me to him. Like he hasn't asked me anything about me. So that I can't say anything about real estate.
Well, that's because Robert's not normal.
Yeah.
He's pretending that he doesn't know you.
Push her into, yeah.
Right. So that's good.
Yeah, he is pushing you,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Sorry.
No. It's not always going to go perfect. So that's why I just need to figure out.
Natural to be not normal.
You're so funny.
I've done it to her too, so don't feel too bad.
It's all good.
Okay. You guys want to go?
Sure. Do you want to call me or do you want me to? Like, how do you want to do?
He might want to call you.
Yeah, make Robert call. After that little game, he gets to be the caller.
All right.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, this is Robert. How have you been?
I've been good.
Oh yeah? And what's going on in the world?
Just dealing with some stuff at home.
Oh, is everything okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Just had a accident at home, but everything's good now.
Okay, and everybody's got all 10 of their fingers and toes?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, so then it seems like things can get better.
Yeah.
All right, well, I just wanted to reach out to you, let you know that I'm a real estate agent now with Keller Williams Avenues. I thought of you because I knew you'd be someone to help me grow my business, especially since you know my track record.
Well, thank you for thinking about me.
Yeah, if it's okay with you, I'd like to share my app with you, and so you can see what's going on around in your neighborhood, and possibly even see if you get curious looking at houses out in Canada and out in Hawaii and Alaska. You want me to send you that link?
Sure, just send it to me and I can check that out later.
Okay, alrighty, perfect. And then I'd also like to offer you an update on your neighborhood every month. It allows me to work on my marketing skills. Does that work for you?
I might have to think about it, but I'll let you know maybe another day.
Okay, all right, perfect. And then is there a time you want me to give you a call back about that?
I don't know right now because like I said, I have a lot going on. So
Okay,
yeah,
alrighty. Well, I hope everything's going okay with the family.
thank you.
All right.
Were you reading it or did you memorize it?
No, I was reading bits and pieces.
Okay, I was like,
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah, like I said, I've been doing sales a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So
so you know how.
thinking on the fly is kind of one of my things.
That's really good because it sounded
Really.
like you knew what you were talking about.
Okay, go the other way.
Okay, so you want to call?
I'll call you. Okay. I'm not really good at it. Yeah. So,
Okay,
None of us were.
so
I guess
I am learning, I am growing, right? People want to talk to me. They want to build relationships, okay? But we're not selling, we're just making better friends.
So you're calling me.
I'll call you. Okay, ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Liz. How have you been?
Hi, Liz. I've been good. What's going on?
Nothing. Just wanted to talk to you. How's the family?
Oh, they're doing good. Taylor just got married and Maddie's doing good in school. How's your family?
Well, they're doing great. They're really doing great. By the way, I was just reaching out to share that I'm now a real estate agent with Keller Williams. I thought of you because I knew you would be someone to help me grow my business, especially since you know my track record and commitment to doing the very best.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think you will do really good.
If it's okay with you and if you are interested, would you like me to send you my real estate app so that you can check what's for sale and for what price on your street, in your neighborhood, or any place that you might be interested? I can send you that link if that sounds good.
Sure, that's fine.
And I also like to offer a real estate update on your neighborhood. You can also add additional neighborhoods that you might be
Yes,
interested in.
yes. So the work you do here
And you
will
can
feed
just,
into the
receiving them right away.
battle,
You might-
and then this will end around 1, just jump into Skills Lab right from there.
I will go ahead and send you, you have my phone number. You can go ahead and just text me.